wind, water, fire. This is Ark Elemental, and I have 100 days to collect as many elemental creatures as possible. I must also defeat the Pure Fury before day 100. This was also streamed live over on Twitch, so feel free to come and join us over there for some more fun. And please consider subscribing. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. But without further ado, let's go. Yo, what's goody? Welcome back to another Ark 100 Days, where we wake up on a beach, scratch our arm, look around, and die to a crazy bird. Oh. See, that's one of the reasons why. Okay, let's try this again, and hopefully this time it'll be a little bit more successful. We start off just like any survival game should, by punching some trees to gather some resources, then picking up some stones along the beach, and crafting some basic tools, smacking rocks to get some more resources with the tools that we just made, and then craft up a bunch of chibis so we can cheese our way through a lot of experience points. Easiest 17 levels I've ever gotten, and we might as well have a chibi by our side the entire time. If you don't know, this is Evo, my personal chibi that I've made in this custom mod with a bunch of other Ark YouTuber friends of mine. I discovered quickly that we can craft the poisonous spear that is unique to this mod. If it's not obvious, this spear is meant to help you knock some creatures out. Now, I've never played this mod before, and I didn't know that you can tame some of these creatures passively that you normally can't. Of course, I started by shoving some blueberries up this blue dinosaur's butt. I started to feel a little bit thirsty, so instead of just taking a sip out of the ocean, we took the whole damn ocean. At this time, the parasaur was taming quite slowly, and I don't really like that for this challenge. My settings for the first couple of days were a little bit wonky, but we end up fixing this later on. I'd also like to explain before we continue that in this challenge, we're doing 20-minute days instead of 30-minute days that we usually do. Unfortunately, Ark Elemental doesn't have a ton of content, and if we did 30-minute days, yeah, we'd get to the end really quickly, and it just wouldn't be a fun video to watch. Day 2, and yeah, this parasaur is taking its sweet-ass time to tame. Instead, we found this glowing dilo. I'm guessing that this dilo is a fire type. Yep, it's definitely a fire type. But after a little bit of stabbies to the face, this fire dilo went to sleep. Unfortunately, we were then attacked by a pego, which we also put to sleep. Thankfully, in this elemental mod, the taming mechanics are pretty similar to vanilla. You can just tame him with meat. As soon as we enslaved this little fire lizard, we sent him to go take out that pego that was pestering us. Burn, little pego, burn. Day 3, we ventured a little bit more inland. I was trying to find a little place where we could kind of set up a little base or something, or maybe some better resources. But that's when we were attacked by some little pestering bugs. I sent our fire lizard straight in there to attack him, and he burnt them to a crisp. But thanks to these little bugs' deaths, we got a bunch of chitin. And that's when I had the light bulb moment that maybe I can make a Pteranodon saddle and hit the skies. Stop. See, this is Ark Elemental, right? Want to see another game with elemental abilities? This is Honkai Star Rail, a free-to-play epic space fantasy RPG made by the same creators of Genshin Impact. You can play this on either mobile or on PC. And the best part is, the game data transfers between both, so no more worrying about starting new accounts on each device. In Honkai Star Rail, you travel through the universe finding unique treasures, solve various puzzles, and learn the deep lore that this universe has to offer. Build your team with over 20 playable characters with unique looks and personalities. I can build my own team to suit my personal playstyle, and some of the characters even have their own unique elemental crazy attack. Like this noble gentleman, Imbibitor Lune. He is a water-type fighter with a dragon bloodline, as you can see with some of his physical features. He also uses his imaginary water-type DPS to cause mass destruction, manipulating the flow of water and summoning deadly waves to deal damage. Then there's the head of divination, Commissioner Fu Shuang. She is a young but driven character with quantum abilities, mainly using them to protect her allies. But don't let her feminine pink appearance fool you. She means business and will do anything to help support her party members in battle. Version 1.3 just dropped, and now follows the Zhanzhou storyline where we learn about the new characters and places of the Zhanzhou. 1.3 also introduces us to a new version of the simulated universe with a roguelike game mode. There is also free 10 warps waiting to be won. So make sure you log in for 7 days so you can claim 10 Star Rail passes completely free. What are you waiting for? Go ahead, use my link in the description below. Get this on your PC, your mobile, or both. Do it, it's free. Thank you Honkai Star Rail for sponsoring this video. You know me, I like to hit the skies as soon as I possibly can. There were no high-level PTs around though at this time, so I just decided to put down a little starter base. A few foundations, a refining forge, and a smithy so we can get started. I then went ahead and checked my taming tracker, and yeah, that wild parasaur's back down to 0. That's a fat rip. I didn't realize we were trying to tame a Morellatops too. I don't know how that happened. Day 4 and we're already up to the metal age. Yeah, because well, as you can see, I've got a metal hatchet. Oh look, a strange looking black and blue water trike. It's a level 170, so of course we're going to try and tame it. My passive taming settings now are a lot better. Well, I think. I hope. I mean, it's pretty safe up here, so, you know, I really want that trike. Can I feed you again? No, not just yet. We waited a few more minutes, and then we could feed him. What is that? See that sheet that's glowing over there? I'm gonna touch it. Unstable ovis. He has mental health issues. Maybe we should refer him to a good mental health institution. Oh, yes! This feeding's gonna be quick. Oh, yes! I love to see it. Yes, we have a water trike! Now, because I was streaming this on Twitch, my Twitch chat decided to name this guy Tonto. No idea what it means, but it sounds kind of cool, I guess. I whipped up a quick saddle for Tonto and jumped straight on him and put him straight to work, gathering as many berries as we can, specifically narco berries, so we can start tranking out some more better dinos. And that's when I had a quick theory that maybe Tonto is kind of special in water since he's a water trike. Elemental healing. This creature is in an area that mimics his element, so it heals. I then went ahead and crafted up some narcotics and some basic trank arrows so I could bowler and knock out this pteranodon. It's only in level 90, but I got a little bit impatient. We'll find a better level eventually. To the skies we go! Hopefully we don't die. Dying wasn't a worry. Running out of stamina definitely is. Oh no, we out of stamina. Day 5 and we're starting to make some decent progress. So I decided to fly up the top of Olympus Mountain. If you're unsure what this is, well, this is a big snowy mountain in the middle that has this Colosseum right on the top of it that holds this scary tech giga inside, the Centaurion. You can also find rock drake eggs around here. This particular one is a Gale drake egg. I'm not too sure exactly what that is, but I'm sure we'll find out later. It was only a level 40, so really no point stealing that and stirring up the nest. I think we really need to get off of this pteranodon because stamina is becoming a real big issue. This dude needs to stop just as much as me walking up a flight of stairs, and he's not even fat. I spent the rest of this day exploring the rest of this map, trying to scope out what kind of creatures are in this mod, as well as trying to find our forever base. Day 6, and I'm kind of getting sick of this mundane lifestyle. I found this iceberg with a bunch of ice and water wyverns flying around it. I landed to go hang out with a bunch of birds that look like they're wearing tuxedos, and then decided if we really want to progress, we need to make some big boy moves. What level egg? What level egg? What level egg? 330, 330, 330. Okay, that's a decent egg. That's a good egg. If you haven't figured it out by now, yes, we're trying to steal this wyvern egg. I quickly perch up on this little ice rock thing that I hope is safe and start heading over to get our most powerful creature yet. We fly on in and there's no wyvern in sight. Well, you can kind of see that one, but it's far enough away that it probably won't get to us. All right, here goes nothing, chat. Go, 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 go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That one's right on our tail. Oh, it de-aggroed. Huh. That was surprisingly anticlimactic. Yeah, sorry about that. Now that we have a wyvern egg, I'm kind of going to need to try and set up a decent forever base. I chose this location. It's on a cliff. It's nice and flat and kind of nice. I don't know. I kind of vibe with it. This is where we're going to start our little base. Made one of our typical circle foundations, placed down all of our necessities, and then some standing torches, the S+ versions, because they burn better, and started incubating this egg. Day 7, while casually working on my base, I realized that this Diplodocus was kind of not happy that I was around. Now, although we are not stronger than this Diplodocus, we're a sure lot smarter than this big dumb idiot. I'm just going to run him over the edge of this cliff here. But in order to get his aggro, I had to hit him up the butt. Now we're back in business. Oh, what? Whoa! Well, I hit it and it effed me up. Turns out water dinos have an ability that when they hit you or when you hit it, it does water damage over time. As I build a couple walls around our base, the wyvern egg hatches. And yes, it's a frost wyvern or an ice wyvern. Basically, it's the ice elemental wyvern. Look at that. Look at that little beauty, ugly guy. Man, frost wyverns are pretty ugly. And I've been running around naked for so long, it's probably a good time to put some clothes on. I spent a big chunk of the rest of this day just enclosing our little base here. As I said earlier, I've never played this mod before, so I'm kind of unsure of what dangers there are in this game. I could finally get rid of these torches too. They're kind of loud and annoying. Next, we place down this elemental smithy, something that's only unique to this mod. I spent the next few moments going through all of its inventory to see what we could craft and what is unique about this mod. You'll find in most mods, their smithy or crafting tables will tell you most of the things you need to know about the mod. The one thing about Elemental Ark though is it requires a lot of crystal for a lot of things. Of course, I went out to go harvest as much as I possibly could. Day 8, I returned back with this crystal and made myself an elemental hatchet and an elemental pickaxe. Now, these tools here are used for gathering elemental essence. If I smack a rock with this hatchet, I'll get stone essence, fire essence, and lightning essence. If I switch over to the pickaxe, I'll get basically the same resources. It's always different depending on what resource node you're hitting. And in Elemental Ark, essences are your main resource for crafting a lot of things. I went ahead and crafted an architect bench. If you're unfamiliar with what this is, it's basically just a quality of life kind of mod that makes building significantly easier. Now, by the end of this day, our frost wyvern had fully grown up. The one cool thing about this mod is the textures of your dinos change depending whether it's day or night. As you can see, our frost wyvern here has like this white complexion with black underbelly during the night. And during the day, it'll have white wings with a blue complexion. Again, I let my Twitch chat decide on the name, and we named it Avalanche, which I actually thought was a pretty cool name. When the sun rose, our colors changed back to normal. So of course, I took Avalanche out to go murder some of the wildlife. You know she's pretty tough when she can wipe out a level 324 tech Rex. Thanks to our little murder spree on Avalanche, we gained a little bit of chitin. This was enough for us to be able to craft some cementing paste. I then took off again on Avalanche to go seek out some more rare resources, like this oil. Mainly so I could make this meat spoiler so we could hurry up and get some more narcotics cranking. Then I encountered this level 290 blue and pink Anki. I was kind of drawn to it for the colors. I didn't even realize it was a high level at this time. I learned that this utility water tame was a passive tame as well. So I started to tame it, but these bugs got in the way of things. As this bug attacked me, my PT started attacking, which then made the Anki start attacking my PT and kill it. Now, after that debacle, I'm definitely not leaving here without a tame. There's a freaking blue dodo. It's a water dodo. I'm definitely taming this. Couple more berries shoved up its butt, and it's now our best friend. And honestly, I'm definitely not leaving without this Anki. After a wee bit of time, me and my dodo friend, and even Evo, tame this Anki. Even with our PT dead, we weren't that too far away from our base, so we just ran it the entire way home. I now had enough essences to make this elemental alchemy table. It just makes a bunch of other stuff, mainly kind of unique resources only to Ark Elemental that you'll need to put in the smithy or other crafting stations to be able to use. Day 10 and we're already level 73, thanks to slightly boosted XP rates, but mainly thanks to the chibis. After searching through the elemental smithy, I realized that there's some decent trank darts that I can craft. So I went ahead, made myself a long neck rifle, and then went to make some trank darts, but that's when I realized I don't have any metal ingots. Good thing we can just fly over to this massive metal node mountain in the desert. I kind of forgot to bring my Anki though, but this metal pickaxe will do for now. Day 11, we went out to go look for some decent tames, but when we couldn't find any around the map, we went to this wyvern island. I mean, if we can't trank any out, maybe we can find a decent egg. We didn't, but you know, we did place a soul terminal down today, and that was progress, I guess. You see, one of the key things to this mod is that you need to try and tame one of every element. You need basically every element to be able to do something for you, whether it's attack an opposing dino that has the opposing element, or you're going to use them to be able to get pure essence, which I'll show you how it works later. Now, we did find this level 280 air Maywing. I went to trank it and forgot when they run away quite far. I attempted to chase it down, hoping that it might get trapped in something, but it ended up being a waste of time. Instead, I went back to base to explore all the crafting possibilities in Ark Elemental. This is where I discovered another crafting bench called the Elemental Synthesis Table. But yet again, I needed ice essence. So back out to go hunt some ice creatures so we can harvest them for their essence. We were struggling to get ice essence from ice creatures, so I just killed anything I could, like this tech strider and this baby goat, but still no ice essence. Back at base, I realized there was an elemental tool that I haven't used yet, the elemental sickle, but this doesn't give us any ice essence either. It does give us air essence though, so we've discovered that one at least. Day 13 and we're still looking for this damn ice essence. I had the idea that maybe the elemental pickaxe might be able to harvest it from some crystals, you know, because it's kind of like ice, I suppose, in a way, but it doesn't. I tried a metal node as well, and no ice essence either. This has got to be the hardest resource to be able to find in this entire game, and I never thought I'd spend so much time trying to look for it. We're back at trying to kill ice creatures, because we know at least we can get it. It's just a little bit of a rarer drop. And then we finally killed the correct creature. This ice sperm looking creature, the Dodigerous. We only needed 10 ice essence and we can finally make this elemental synthesis table. I had no idea what you could do in this, but it looks like we can create luminescence versions of essences. It must be like an upgraded tier version, but also this is where you craft the boss summoners that they call lures, and all the unique foods and kibbles that you can make in this mod. I tamed this level 40 stone mammoth. Why? I don't really know. I thought it was going to be useful to us. I saw that some other creatures you could craft things in their inventories. We have a stone mammoth. And I do... Where's the stuff inside him. Unfortunately, I was wrong, and this was a wasted tame. The end of this day, we crafted up the Elemental Refining Forge, and this is where you can craft your essence into crystallized elements. While checking through the Elemental Synthesis table, I discovered you could craft Omni Elemental Kibble, but it requires dino eggs, Omni Elemental Crystal, and water. And the Ark God sent us this dodo right next to our base. They're perfect for laying eggs, and best thing about this situation, I can put him in a soul ball, place him in the soul terminal, and the eggs will just passively generate. A little later on, I encountered this Biorex. It had 35,000 health, and I'm not too sure if it's from the Elemental mod or if it's from the Olympus mod. All I'm sure about is I want to kill it. Our Wyvern's Ice Breath attack on paper doesn't seem to do a lot of damage, but over time, it melts the hell out of anything. Even though it's ice, so it doesn't melt. It freezes the hell out of everything. Anyways, after that little distraction, I went around to the top of these mountains to try and find strong, powerful dinos of certain elements. Well, elements that I don't have yet. I discovered that there were certain griffins around, but nothing of a high level. In this server, the max level is level 300, so level 180s, level 150s aren't really gonna cut it. Day 15, and we're still yet to find a decent tame. But I did find this unstable Ovis. They are a passive tame, and it says I can use Omni Elemental Kibble that I have on me. Alright, let's feed it. Take the kibble. Take the kibble. Why isn't it taking the kibble? Okay, so seems like you can't passive tame it. Let's see if we can knock it out instead. Go to sleep. Let's see if this works. No, it won't because I can't even access its freaking inventory. Well, since that didn't work, we went down to the beach to go pick on little Jerboas. We're riding a big wyvern, so it's pretty hard to see him, but we're about to kill one. Instead, we kind of aggroed all the bigger dinos, which, you know, was a bad idea. Now, you're probably wondering, why pick on the little Jerboas? Well, that's for this one resource that they drop, Jerboa Skulls. We need to collect 5 of these so we can summon in a boss. We spend most of the day just trying to find Jerboas and kill them and then collect their skulls. Day 16, we kidnapped this Dodicarus, and since it's a passive tame, we tamed it. It only took 1 Omni Elemental Kibble too, even though it says it needs 2. I don't know, maybe that thing's broken. And then we got our Limp Biscuit on and started rolling. If you don't understand that, you're probably too young. Anyways, for a large chunk of this day, we were just smashing rocks until Greenhead Pumbaa wanted to come in, join in on the fun. Because this Daedon was a nature variant, it had an effect that just continuously did damage to us, but ultimately it couldn't hold up against our stone Dodicarus. This whole day was basically just a farming day. We're setting up to expand our base eventually. Day 17, we went on the hunt to try and find ourselves a snail. You know, something that could produce cementing paste passively for us. We eventually found one in the swamps, but I've been playing modded so much that I forgot the vanilla versions require sweet vegetable cake to be able to tame them. And that's a bit of a process to be able to get. Instead, we just relied on the good old chitin and stone method. It's a little bit more tedious, but it'll get us the cementing paste that we need for now. I wanted all this stuff because now it's time to build our base. I had originally planned to build this out of the castles and keep stuff, but because we don't have a lot of cementing paste, we're just gonna have to build this out of stone. Stage 1, we've got the base of our foundations down. We're running kind of low on resources, so I quickly ran back out to go get some. I also realized the foundations that we'd already placed down isn't gonna be big enough for what I want in this build. Day 18, and we're still going. This build is a little bit trickier than I've ever done. It's not my signature kind of, well, if you know, you know. This time I really challenged myself in this build to try and make something that I was kind of proud of. Not that I'm not proud of my last ones, but you know, I just wanted to do something different. Day 19, and we've just gotten to be able to place the roof on. Remember, these are 20-minute days instead of half-an-hour days, so everything happens a little bit faster than normal. In Ark Elemental, farming is essential, so all of these crop plots we're gonna probably use. And there we go, we have the basic structure down of our base. I just now need to move all of our crafting stuff all the way over to our new base. One side of this build is going to be our crafting area. The other side is going to be, obviously, our farm. The rest is just a nice open area. Day 20, I start to dismantle our old base. Then I start adding in the glass roof of our greenhouse. And with our base pretty much done, we could get back out to having some fun in the wilds. Taking Avalanche out to go, you know, kill stuff, because that's what he does best. Oh yeah, and since we have a farm now, it's probably essential that we tame ourselves a dung beetle for fertilizer. Right at the front of my base was this Omni Elemental Gacha. Now since it was close, I figured let's tame it and see what they could do. It ate up all the stone that I left for it and became our best friend. I wasn't sure exactly how they're going to drop their crystals. I was kind of hoping that maybe if I put them in a soul terminal, that maybe that's how we get crystals. I also spent the rest of the day just basically taming a bunch more. They're pretty easy tames as they just eat a couple of stones. Well, kind of easy. They seem to spawn near kind of dangerous creatures. Stupid saber-tooth, get the frick out of here. Oh, you dead. And there we go. We now have a total of 4 Omni Elemental Gachas that we have tamed. I placed them all in the Soul Terminal, and we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. Day 21, I spent basically the entire day looking for seeds for this farm. We searched every little bush around our base until we kind of ran out of bushes. Then we ventured over to the redwoods and tried there. Now, I don't know whether it's this map or if it's my bad luck, but we were really struggling to find some seeds. This was taking so long, Milo came over and gave me some rock carrot seeds.
Yo, what up, Milo? Now I just need long grass. Long grass and we're set. Long grass.
Day 22 and we're still looking for long grass seeds. I was sick of wasting time just looking for seeds, and Milo came back over and hooked me up with some long grass seeds. I immediately went back to base to plant our seeds in our farm, but that's when I realized we were missing a crucial element to this farm. Yeah, water. I needed to build some pipes from down in this ocean all the way up to our base. And there we go. We finally got water going into our farm. I then went ahead and placed down this S+ gardener so she can collect all of our crops when they fully grow. Which also means I need to craft some beer because that's what powers her. Alcohol. It's a little bit weird, but I suppose it's better than heroin. Just as I flew away from base, I spotted this level 280 nature trike and passive tamed it with some Omni Elemental kibble. Day 23, we named this nature trike Michael Menendez. Yeah, so I have a channel point redeem in my Twitch chat that you can, name a dino after yourself or whatever you want. I kind of thought that it being a nature trike that it was going to do torpor damage. It clearly doesn't, but it does hit pretty hard. Day 24, we flew back up Olympus Mountain to see if there were any decent rock drake eggs. There was this level 180 aqua drake egg. I suppose we'll just take it anyway. Then I went over to the Wyvern Island to see if there were any eggs there. There wasn't anything good, but there was this lava elemental, and my Twitch chat said that if I kill it, I'll get some pretty decent loot. The problem is, it's not very easy to kill, and it's not part of the elemental mod. 24 days in, and now we finally figured out how to get ice essence. Yeah, you need to pickaxe trees. This would have been really handy if I knew this a lot earlier. But with all that ice essence, we can now craft this, the Elemental Infuser. Basically, the Elemental Infuser allows you to summon creatures of all types for this mod. I then went ahead and crafted up an essence this thing. Basically, you can put in certain creatures into this and it will passively generate essence for you. But to be able to get one of those creatures to passively generate us essence, we need to kill a boss. Jerboa bosses are the first tier that we need to be able to defeat for some free and easy essence. There is one catch though when fighting these Jerboa bosses. You cannot fight them with anything bigger than a Rex. So we're coming in hot with our nature trike, Michael Menendez. We're fighting the air incarnate Jerboa. Now, although it's not doing a crazy amount of damage to us, it can heal itself over time. So this battle against our first boss took a damn long time. But we finally got that fat W. And when you kill a Jerboa boss, you get one of these balls that drop on the ground. It's basically the item you use to be able to summon in one of these Jerboas. I went to go craft up some more crystallized essence, but we didn't have any crystal. So I went back out to the mountains to go harvest some crystal. Obviously, everything was running smoothly until I tried to dismount and I fell down the cliff.
Oh, bro, I'm stuck. Can we get up there? Jump, 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 jump. Oh, freaking RG, go away. Oh, no! No, my ankle's following! Oh, crap. Oh, no. Oh, this is going very, very badly. No, it's fighting the RG. Oh, is it winning? Wow, it's smacking it hard. Oh, that's a dead RG.
This is where my big brain moves had to come into play. I tried whistling out for my wyvern.
Come here. Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
We made it back to the top of this mountain so we could continue harvesting this crystal, but I forgot that my wyvern was on follow. So it started flying around all crazy like.
Just land right there. Right there.
It was flying midair, so I jumped onto it and missed.
I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm so dead.
Well, I awoke on day 26 after my death and needed a way to be able to get my dinos back. That's when I called in my friend Milo to see if he could pick me up and take me back over to my stuff. I made it back to the mountain, jumped straight back on my Anki, and started grinding again for this crystal. We had another Twitch viewer choose a name for this Anki, and they chose Frankie Sinatra. I mean, I didn't choose it, okay? I then also successfully whistled Avalanche over to us and got ourselves out of this hellhole. But that's when my Twitch chat also mentioned that there's a better place to be able to harvest crystal. A lot safer too. This little cave here. These little weird nodes hold a crap load of crystal. More than we could ever get from those mountains. And it's a lot safer down here too. You know, at this point, things were starting to look up. We were making good progress, taming up a few new dinos, defeating bosses, and getting knocked out by poison wyverns.
Oh, for flip's sake. This sucks. Please wake up. Aha! Well, will you look at that? We're up. Now we just have to make it down this thing without dying. Oh, that was close. Down. Oh, I can hear wings. I can hear wings. Get it. Come on, get on Avalanche. Get on Avalanche. We got there.
Well, after all that, I figured I might as well yoink an egg. It's only a level 170, but we'll take it. I feel like I need something after this crazy ass day. Day 27, and it's time for us to move on from these refining forges. Because now I can craft up the Elemental Industrial Forge, which I didn't know at the time can actually smelt down metal as well as all the crystallized essence. And since we now have all this metal and essence, we should probably change into some more appropriate armor. This is flak armor from the Elemental mod. It doesn't look any different, but I think it gives you some boosted stats or, you know, some sort of thing. I don't really know. Back out in the wilds, whilst we were flying around exploring this beautiful night, I spotted a blue rock golem. Strange as it may be, it had 80,000 health, so it's probably damn tough. Let's keep that noted for now, because we'll probably come back to see it later. Day 28, I built a little trap outside our base. I figured if I wanted to start fighting these Jabal bosses, I need to go and get a decent tame that can wreck them. The problem is finding a tame that's strong enough but not a Rex and smaller than a Rex, it's kind of a hard task. Eventually I came across this level 300 ice baryonyx, and typically baryonyxes are a pretty deadly tame. I knocked it out and then I fed it some Omni Elemental kibble and then left it there to rest peacefully until it tamed up. It's now day 29 and nothing's happening with this baryonyx. It doesn't seem like the kibble's working. So I tried feeding it some fish and it basically tamed up immediately. Turns out Omni Elemental kibble doesn't work like that. Maybe it only works for passive tames. I immediately took this baryonyx out to see if it was strong. And it's nothing special really. We're just gonna have to see what it's like with a few levels pumped into it. So we spent most of this night here just running around killing dinos to try and get some extra levels. I'd also forgotten about this air Jaboa that we had just laying around and realized I needed to try and put him into the vivarium. I put him in a soul ball and then tried to place him in, but that doesn't work. Now, no need to go crazy in the comments. I do figure it out a little bit later. Day 30, and yeah, I tamed a regular ass bulb dog. It is copper in color, so I don't know how. And we finally had some beer for our little alcoholic friend here. It takes a while to craft. Then while I was searching through some engrams, I found this thing. This is an elemental generator. It works basically like a tech generator, but it has a catch. In order for it to work, you need Omni Elemental crystals inside it and lightning creatures to power it. I guess that means we're gonna go on a little bit of a taming spree. I went over to the Wyvern Islands to see if maybe we could just pick up a lightning egg. That might be an easy solution. Instead, we found this level 300 fire wyvern egg and obviously couldn't pass up the opportunity to yoink this. Once I returned back to base with this new egg that we had found, I went to place it in here and remembered about the gachas and the other eggs. Turns out the gachas don't passively produce the crystals like we thought they did. Anyways, we found a solution to our electricity problem. We found a lightning parasol kind of close to base. This will be a pretty simple and easy solution for us, I guess. Again, I gotta admit, some of the decorations and textures on these dinos is damn cool. I threw out our lightning parasol right next to the generator, and it still wasn't working. That was because we forgot the Omni Elemental crystal. But once I put some in there, it was working a charm. It just had a low range. Turns out we need a few more parasols around to be able to extend that range. So the following day, that's exactly what we did. We went and hunted down another parasol. Lucky for us though, this particular parasol is a female. So we can breed these babies up and we can have all the electricity that we need. It's probably time that we start taming some more creatures too. So I learned the engrams for the net gun or harpoon launcher, whatever you want to call it, and started crafting it. New net gun in hand, it's time to try and take down this nature owl. Now you're probably wondering, what's so important about this nature owl? It's only a level 200. Well, I had confirmed after a little bit of research that nature owls can actually deal torpor damage. Took us a little bit of time, but we finally tamed this nature owl. I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier, but we ended up naming this nature owl Toph. You know, after like Avatar, Last Airbender, the Earth chick, blind one. And then we went to go test out its abilities. Apparently when you do its normal heal move, you know, when the wings fold in, it'll deal torpor damage like this.
It's not too bad. I wonder if it'll fully knock it out. Oh, it does.
Now that we know it works on a parasol, it's time to try it out on something that's worthwhile taming. Well, that was a hard lesson to learn. We just wasted all that time taming up that nature owl, only to find out that it doesn't really work against aggressive creatures. Guess we're gonna have to tame creatures the old-fashioned way. The good old pick 'em up and drop 'em in a track method. We have now acquired ourselves a stone therizinosaur. They're just a good utility dino for a number of reasons. They're strong on attacking, and they gather fiber pretty well, so, you know, they're good to have around. I then needed to make something that was pretty important for our breeding situation. Air conditioners. I like to stash them in a foundation and put a ceiling over the top of them to try and keep my base's aesthetics nice and neat. Now to just hatch a bunch of eggs. Day 33, I happened to stumble across a level 300 stone Rex, but then got distracted by something a little bit more intriguing. This siege Shylock, I can't say the freaking name. You know these things, the poo shooters. Why would I be interested in something like this? It's only a level 50. Well, because it's a siege dino, it has the ability to be able to knock out golems, and golems are essential in this mod. I shot it, knocked it out, and then I realized I am a freaking idiot. It's a passive tame. Yeah, that was extremely stupid. We're just gonna have to leave it there until it wakes up naturally. Instead, I crafted up some metal gateways and a large bear trap because yes, we are returning to go get this stone Rex. It's a level 300, literally the max level, and a Rex. We can't pass up this opportunity. Like the pro gamer I am, I successfully kited it all the way into our trap, secured it in place with some more gates, and continued to shoot it in its ass with some tranks. And then after a few minutes had passed, we now have ourselves a level 449 stone Rex. The early morning of day 34, our siege calico has fully woken up. So I went back inside, borrowed some beer off our alcoholic friend, and attempted to give it to our calico friend here. The only thing is, I think he's still kind of holding a grudge from when we shot him with some tranks a little bit earlier. We might let him cool down a bit and go out for a bit of a run on our brand new stone Rex. It's important that we try and get as many levels into this guy as possible. He is kind of like going to be one of our most strongest dinos. Also now, a bunch of our parasaurs are fully grown up, so we can use them to help us generate some more electricity. Next, I went back to the elemental infuser and summoned our very own thunder bulb dog. I also discovered on the essence vivarium that if you just hold down to get the radial menu up, that's how you collect the creatures to put them in there so they can passively generate you essence. Day 35, I placed down this light pet attractor. If I haven't mentioned yet, you actually need to kill light pets to get these little things from them that help you, you know, summon in other light pets later on, which I've already done. I don't know why I didn't explain it earlier, but now you know. And yeah, that's when I kind of remembered about this guy. I totally forgot about him. We're gonna do the cheesy method to be able to tame these guys. If you completely wall a passive tame in, you can feed them without aggroing them. And thanks to the light pet attractor, we ended up killing a bunch of light pets. You just kind of can't see them because I'm on my wyvern and they're really small. Now that we have the siege calico, I went straight over to try and tame this rock elemental that was really close to our base. Well, I'm gonna try and attempt to tame it because the only way to knock it out is to actually hit it smack bang dead center in the middle of the head. And on this calico, that's kind of not too easy. I ended up trying to kite it around to a different location that might make shooting it a bit easier. It was somewhat easier as we did get one hit on it, but if you look at the health bar, we're probably going to kill it before we actually knock it out. And yeah, I was right about that. Except this happened.
Oh no, it's gonna die. Whoa, what the frick is that? Storm golem. Oh no, when you kill golems, like big bad golems come out. That's a fat rip. We have no chance against this. 159,000 health? Yeah. This is, I don't know what to do now.
With a damn storm golem right close to our base, I had to pull out all the stops. I didn't want this thing stomping my entire base and destroying everything. But even with our most strongest dino on us, I don't think we're going to be able to kill this thing. Our Rex wasn't working, so I brought out my wyvern, and that wasn't doing much either. When it looks like there's no hope and we're going to lose everything to a freaking storm golem, we only have one choice. I called in one of my subscribers that had a powerful enough creature to be able to defeat the storm golem. Well, somewhat powerful. Even my subscriber here was having a bit of trouble. I went back in with Michael Menendez and yeah, we died. This situation's getting a little bit sticky, so we're going to try rocket launchers. Yeah, in this mod there's actually ammo that is elemental ammo, so it should do decent damage against this creature. 805 ain't too bad. The only problem is this ammo is kind of expensive and takes a while to reload, so I don't know if I'm being that effective in helping. And Milo, my subscriber, started to get a little bit frustrated, so he sent out his big guns. Yeah, basically every wyvern that he had. Unfortunately, they didn't stand a chance. This storm golem is tough. It took a damn long time, basically 2 whole days, but we finally defeated this storm golem and unlocked all of these tech engrams as well, so that's a plus, I guess. After fighting that storm golem, I now realized I want one. And the only way to get there is we need to start progressing through this mod. So on this day, day 37, I spent most of the day roaming around the beaches with my Rex, hunting down Jaboas so we could kill them so we could start summoning in all their bosses. Day 38, I stabbed my Dilo with a syringe. No, I'm not giving him illicit drugs. I'm actually taking some of his pure essence out of him, because that's the main ingredient to be able to summon in one of these guys, the Firelight. Light pets in Ark Elemental come in two different variations. Larger variations like this that you can ride and, you know, do stuff with, or the smaller variation that works just like a normal light pet would. And as you can see, summoning in this bird was a game changer. It was doing 1,000 damage per hit. Even this water Diplo had no chance against it, and it's the opposite element. And now that we have such a powerful creature with us, it's time to summon in some bosses and destroy them. This particular boss is the nature boss, so because we're a fire type, we do significant damage to it, and I guess this was a little bit unfair for the boss at least. Now that I know how to put these Jaboas away so they can produce us some passive essence, I did that basically straight away. Now, I thought I was going to summon in some more bosses, but because Milo helped me out so much, he asked for my help to help him out with another rock golem fight. We were doing some pretty significant damage towards the rock golem, but it was also doing some damage to us too. And I also didn't realize that they have some homing missiles on them. So with rock golems, because they're primarily a land ground creature, to balance things out, they have these homing missile attacks that hit anything that flies. And we just got our most powerful creature. I wasn't about to risk it, but I was somewhat prepared to risk avalanche, which now thinking back, it wasn't a great move. It wasn't doing too much damage, but it was slowing it down. And we did get the win in the end, so we'll take that. Day 39, while flying around, we found this Fen Golem. Well, I'm pretty sure it's the same one that we saw earlier in this 100 days. I haven't mentioned it yet, but all of these golems are hybrids, so they come with two elemental types. And Fen Golems in particular are water and nature. This is where things get kind of interesting. See, my bird's a fire type, and the Fen Golem is currently using its water element, so my fire attacks are basically useless against it. But when the Golem switches to its nature variant, we go straight in to burn down those bushes. I had Milo come over too. He brought his lightning giga so it could attack it during its water phase. Plus, he also wanted to unlock some engrams as well. Now that we've killed a few golems, I can actually summon in one for myself. Unfortunately, first, I'm gonna have to stab Avalanche in the butt with the syringe. And just like that, we now have our very own glacial golem. Day 41 starts off with us putting our firelight away, so it can, you know, give us some more fire essence. And then I went out into the world on our new glacial rock golem to go cause some mass destruction. I mean, look at how much damage we're doing. It's ballistic. I also discovered while fighting this other rock golem that I could potentially knock it out and then tame it. It's a little bit of a tricky process, but we're trying our best. Mainly because if I miss that sweet spot in the middle of its head, I, you know, do some pretty significant damage to it and it might die. I eventually got pretty lucky, smacked it right in the head and put it to sleep. We're just gonna leave it here for a bit for now. Day 42 and we have a fully tamed rock golem. Unfortunately, we're not gonna have it for very long because right now I have to murder it. In this mod, if you have a normal rock golem and tame it, you can extract their cores out of it so you can help you tame your very own elemental rock golem. We're a little bit ahead in the game right now, so I don't know if we're going to do that. Instead, we need to fight some of these Jaboa bosses. And that's why I placed down a ton of these Jaboa attractors, hoping that they will give us a lot of Jaboas that we can kill for their skulls. We got a few, but not as many as I thought we would get with all those attractors around. I do figure out the problem as of why a little bit later on. But at this point, we're just flying around trying to gather all the Jaboas that we could possibly find. Again, there wasn't a lot, but they are kind of hard to see when we're on Avalanche here too. Day 43 and we're still hunting down Jaboas. Yeah, that's pretty much a big chunk of what we need to do. I did though craft ourselves the chemistry bench. We can't have a full playthrough without one of these. Day 44, we flew our fire wyvern over to this island. This particular island on the Olympus map works kind of like an aberration zone. But I was only here for one thing. Yes, that Carcanos. You see, Carcanos drop a crap ton of chitin. And since that's kind of like our only way to get cementing paste at this point, that's what I was here for. Day 45, I went out on the hunt for some stronger dinos. And that's when I spotted this max level Air Rex. I've mentioned it before, but it's really important to have strong variations of all the elements in this game. And just like that, we had successfully tamed a max level Air Rex. But now it's time to fight some more Jaboa bosses. This Jaboa boss, being an ice elemental, really had no chance against my fire elemental. Oh, and I also summoned in a frost goat. He's pretty cute, but he runs kind of wonky. and is pretty weak on the attack side of things. Day 46, I hatched this level 340 water wyvern egg that I collected a little bit earlier. We just gotta wait for the little baby to grow up. Then I went out to go put this platform down on this tree and place some tree sap taps on it. Yeah, basically, I want to get ourselves a snail so we can solve the cementing place problem. I was then told by my Twitch chat, apparently there's a thing here that you can actually craft certain resources in. Like this. If I use some essence, I can actually craft some sap anyway. My goal is to make ourselves some sweet veggie cake, but as you can see, it does require a lot of ingredients. I also crafted up a bunch of bee honey as well, but all that bee honey that we made went into making this, the domesticated beehive. This only comes in the S+ mod and passively creates, well, honey for you. I then placed down this industrial cooker and then cooked up some sweet vegetable cake. To me, the food sounds kind of gross. I ain't no vegan. Now it's time to find ourselves a snail, and I figured the swamp was the best place to look for one. The only thing is, I kind of underestimated the dangers of the swamp.
What the frick just happened? I didn't even know what just happened just then. How did I get dismounted? Oh no, where's my snow owl? Oh, it died! How the frick did it die?
So yeah, we were left all alone in the swamp area all by ourselves, with no tame in the middle of the night in a completely dangerous area. But I wasn't leaving without getting ourselves a snail. We can at least get it, put it in a soul ball, and if we die, technically we'll get all our stuff back when we respawn. Kinda cheesy, but you know, who cares, it's part of the game. After dodging all the dangers in this game, we found ourselves a snail. I could hear lots of stomping around and tried to avoid it as best as possible. This Sarko really wanted to eat our snail. I would kinda think that I'd be more of a delectable choice than this snail would be, but hey, the only thing that's important is that we've tamed ourselves a snail. Now I just need to find a way to die a spectacular death. This Megalosaurus will probably do the job. And just like that, we can respawn with all of our stuff. We're already 48 days into this challenge and yeah, I probably need a haircut. Time to go back to our signature look. I went out for the day just searching around, doing whatever, trying to let our hair grow out. But when our hair fully grew, I realized we kind of missed a spot. The all red look isn't really our thing. There we go, much better. Day 49, I summoned in my very own shoulder fire light pet. Then I went ahead and started fighting some more Jaboa bosses back to back. Starting with the Jaboa fire incarnate, which whom we snuffed his light out rather quickly. Then I moved on to the Jaboa stone incarnate. This one was a little tougher. He has some damage resistance or something. And we were feeling so damn invincible with our firelight that I went on to take on the next tier of boss, the Avengers. These guys are significantly tougher, and apparently you can only take them on with their counter element. So for example, we're fighting the Nature Avenger, and I'm using fire against it. This fight was definitely a different one. It was a lot tougher. We were doing a lot of damage, but it was also hitting us extremely hard. At one point, I had to run away and escape. It was getting a little tough, but I got straight back in there to finish this guy off.
Ah, damn, that was a close one, and it took freaking ages.
Now the thing about killing Avengers, they then drop an egg that you can hatch that is essential to the end game. Day 50 and it's now boss killing day. Again, starting with the Jaboa lightning incarnate, which we quickly zapped out of existence. Followed by the Jaboa water incarnate. This one was significantly easier, surprisingly, considering it's water and I'm fighting it with my fire type. But we quickly turned this water Jaboa into steam. Then with some newfound confidence, I flew to the top of Mount Olympus to go and fight the Centaurion. This boss is only specific to the Olympus map, and he's pretty tough when it's vanilla balanced. Now, although we did a fair bit of damage to him, we had to run away because, yeah, we almost died. But I couldn't be completely satisfied if we didn't defeat this boss. So I returned on my fire wyvern to finish the job. You get some pretty decent loot from him too. A whole bunch of element shards. Day 51 and we got out our little poison hatchling. This is the thing that comes from the egg that we got from the Avenger that we killed earlier. I then went back out to do some more exploring and decided I wanted to kill this rock elemental, which I killed rather easily, but then it turned into the storm golem. We all know what happened last time we fought the storm golem, so yeah, I'm not gonna stick around for this one. Day 52, I decided to put some gates up around my base, just as some added protection from everything. Started doing some renovations to the base by adding a little bit of a pathway out. This time using the castles and keeps mod. Since we had a bit of cementing paste, we could do this now. But it wasn't quite enough to be able to change my entire building just yet. Next, I went ahead and moved our forge over a little bit. I was planning on making a bit of space here, so eventually I could put a tech replicator down, if we ever got to that stage. Day 53, we had to make a little bit of an extension on our base, so I built this little platform thingy, just so I could place down this, the infusion chamber. I'll explain what it does in a little bit, but first, I need to tame this PT. So you need a vanilla dino, you throw it in the infusion chamber, choose it, and then you can choose an element to turn it into. You just need that particular element essence first. Once selected, like this example, we're turning this PT into an air type. There you go. We have an air type Pteranodon. Now you can do this with pretty much every vanilla dino in the game. It just varies the amount of essence you need to be able to do it. With that little fun experiment out of the way, it was time for us to fight another boss. This time we're summoning the Broodmother, but the Ark Elemental version. But before the Broodmother comes in, you have to destroy all of these Omni Spiders, which are basically Arneos, before the Broodmother will come and fight.
Oh man, how many goddamn waves of spiders do we need to fight? They don't like fire.
There were so many different waves of spiders that we had to fight that this went on to the next day. The waves just kept coming. They weren't really dangerous, but they were just really annoying because of the amount of numbers that came in. And then it finally happened. The dematerialized Spider Queen came into play. I had to mute it here because when it summons in, it plays music in the background that could be copyright. The Spider Queen is a hybrid, so it turns from nature into lightning. But for some reason, while it was in its lightning form right now, it kind of got stuck and kind of bugged out. I tried getting Avalanche out to help, but I don't think ice is that effective against lightning. So I quickly flew back to base to pick something up that could possibly help, like this Stone Rex. Yeah, stone is good against lightning. And as you can see, pretty much just munches straight through this big butt insect. As the night fell, we turned our light pet on, jumped on our hybrid golem, and went out to attract these things. They're called hunters. Basically, if you kill them, that's how you get unstable essence, and other essences as well. But they only come out if you're riding a hybrid creature, and the light pet helps you do double the damage against them, similar to if you're fighting a reaper. So basically, whenever it's nighttime, this is going to be basically all we do. Day 55, I spent most of the time rearranging some of the dinos out in the yard here. Since we blocked off access with the gates, and it's pretty safe up here, I figured it'd be a cool place to showcase all my dinos. Day 56, we found this level 260 Rex. And since it's a vanilla and we have the infusion chamber, I knew this was going to be a good tame.
Oh, a griffin. Holy crap, what's that noise? Run, 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 run. Oh my god, it's a storm freaking lightning Kano. Oh my god.
Trying to get away was kind of difficult, but we also found this level 300 lightning griffin. I netted it, but it shocked me. I didn't die, so I had a perfect opportunity to be able to try and tame it. Thankfully, we had some pretty strong creature drugs on us. Griffins are easily one of my most favorite tames in this entire game, so I certainly couldn't pass up this opportunity to be able to ride it around, even though it's not quite as strong as our Firebird. Back at base, I immediately put our new Rex into the infusion chamber and transformed this Rex into the Air Rex. Now, I did this whole Rex thing intentionally, because yes, I wanted to start breeding them. Early morning of day 57, again, we're back out and hunting the hunters. And when the sun came up, I went out on my Firebird to go and find that storm golem from earlier. Unfortunately, there was another golem that spawned nearby. And somehow, yeah, we still died. To a nature Anki of all things. Our Firebird is still alive, so I had to jet back over there as soon as possible. I really didn't want it to die. The problem is, I'm stupid and I went over on a water creature. And if you know, lightning is good against water. I did happen to get our Firebird out of there, and everything was looking good. But then I got the notification that the tiny Firelight died. I had to go and get revenge. So I went straight back in and fought the Storm Golem with all my might. It was at this moment though, I looked back and didn't even realize there were two Storm Golems. We must have killed the other golem, forcing it to turn into another storm golem. Now, usually any sane person would be like, let's get out of here. Not me though. We had split up both storm golems, and killing this one was quite easy. The second storm golem, I wanted to fight with my golem. Although an epic battle between giants, I couldn't inflict any damage to it when it was in its air elemental form. But when it was in its lightning form, I went ham. It was taking kind of a while to be able to fight this guy because it kept changing forms. So I got my Firelight back out to jump into the fight. I'll switch back and forth between my Golem and my Firelight depending on the element that the Storm Golem was using. Things were going great in this fight, until I got stuck in the Storm Golem and it unleashed this devastating attack, killing both myself and my Firelight. This was extremely devastating. I really liked that Firelight. I had to go back and get revenge. I jumped on my Fire Wyvern, flew straight on over there, and went straight in for the attack. This time on my Stone Rex. The only thing is, stone doesn't work against air. And even though it does damage lightning, it's not that effective. And so I don't risk any other dinos dying. I'm gonna have to consider this an L and leave it. That's okay though, because back at base, we're evolving this poison hatchling into a dragon juvenile. Eventually, you can change these into some crazy dominating creatures. but you're gonna have to wait a little longer to see that. I'd also gotten myself another hybrid golem. This time we got ourselves a storm golem, and this thing packs a mighty punch. It's doing 3,000 damage without any light pet help, and against certain elements we were doing up to 7,000 damage, again without any help of a light pet. It's now the morning of day 59 and our night adventures are over, and today I spent some of the time again just rearranging some of our dinos. These golems were a little bit tricky, and can we take a second to admire all of our amazing wyverns? Day 60 I woke up feeling sad. We had lost our best fighter yet, our firelight. I was lost, I didn't know what to do, and I knew running around on a cute fluffy goat would help cheer me up, but I needed to move on with my life. I needed to get another firelight, which means I need to kill some more light pets. And I'd actually discovered from my Twitch chat that there's a better way to be able to use the light pet attractors. You need to place them in areas with a ton of other creature spawns, preferably passive creatures, because whatever you're summoning in, whether it be light pet or jaboas, they spawn off the back of already spawned in creatures. And with 2 locations with a bunch of attractors down, I just spent the day going back and forth killing all the light pets that I possibly could. And by the end of the day, we had a bunch of these lantern lights that we could pretty much summon in any one of these light pets that we wanted. Day 61, we used our magic abilities to make a goat come out of thin air. Not really, this is an obsidian horn, another light pet that's just gonna go in and collect us some free essence. I then happened to summon in another light pet for us, just in time for us to go out on another run killing hunters. So hunter creatures typically start off as raptors, and then as you progress through killing multiple of them, you get a tougher variant, like this, the Carnos. Then if you kill enough of them, Rexes will spawn in, and then finally, Reapers. Day 62 I explored other crafting capabilities from this mod. This is the Ark Elemental Spyglass. It's like the awesome Spyglass but more specific to this mod. If you can see, it actually tells you all the damage bonuses and reductions depending on the element of that specific dino. I then went out on a mighty metal farm, as I really want to upgrade my base to the proper castles and keep structures later on. Day 63, while flying our lightning griffin, I spotted a level 270 trike. So of course I tamed it. Yeah, that was basically the most exciting thing to happen today. Day 64, I discovered there's some really strange creatures in this mod map. No, not this Capro. Wait for it. Yeah, there's freaking noglins in this map. Pesky little things take over your brain and make you do really weird things. I feel rather violated. And thanks to the beautiful elemental infuser, we now have a nature trike. The whole purpose of getting this one was to get a high level one. See how it's a level 404? Well, I stabbed it with our syringe so we can get its pure essence out of it, just so I could craft this. It's called the Moss Light. It's basically just a nature feather light, but with a rather special ability.
Oh, look how much oh, it kicked me off. It kicked me off. Hey, it's out. It's asleep.
It can deal significant torpor damage against its enemies. It's not a very strong dino in itself, but it knocks creatures out so fast that basically the creatures can't kill it. With this nature featherlight, we were able to tame ourselves a high level stone RG. Again, not sure if I mentioned this, but it is important to have high level creatures of every elemental type. I don't know how we got this lucky, but we found a level 290 RG as well, and tamed that. We basically now have a perfect breeding pair. The levels of the creatures are important because as you stab them with the syringe and get the pure essence out of those specific creatures, that is the level of whatever you're going to summon in gets. Day 65, we tamed ourselves another firelight, and while out and about, encountered another storm golem. This one was a level 780 with 186,000 health. But we were melting this storm golem until it turned into its lightning elemental and then absolutely melted us.
Oh no.
I'm either brave, stubborn, or stupid because I had to go back in and try and defeat this guy. I needed my revenge. This time, coming in with an air Rex that I had laying around and my storm golem. My air Rex didn't really last too long though, but my storm golem's such an OP beast. It was light work for it. Now look what we found, a vapor golem. We need to kill this so we can basically summon in our own vapor golem. Problem is, we're on our storm golem and it's not really effective against fire. We needed to turn into its water variant and then we could absolutely zap it out of this place, like right now. Let the damage begin. This whole process takes a little longer because it switches from its variants and we can't do anything against this fire variant. If you're wondering how this works, just look in the top left hand corner where it says its element. It's back in its fire elemental phase with only 2.4k health left. We just have to wait now until this very moment.
Oh my god, that took so much longer than I thought it would.
Day 66, and we now have a vapor golem.
Look at that. We now have 3 out of 4 of all the hybrid golems. Oh, get out of the way, freaking gacha.
We still have a lot of bosses that we need to fight and kill, and it's already day 66. So now it's time to summon in the Fire Avenger. I fought it with my water wyvern, knowing very well it was going to do a lot of damage. I also wanted to test out a little theory. Depending on what elemental dino you're riding, if you're in the specific biome of that element, your dino gets a bit of a buff. So that's why we're standing in the water right now. It's not much of a buff, all you get is just a little bit of health regeneration over time. But hey, it's better than nothing. And this plan would have worked if the dragon didn't start flying. But at the end of the day, we still got that W. Day 67, we summoned in the last of the hybrid golems that we need to collect. The fen golem.
What the heck? Is its rock form a bush? That's hilarious.
I made a little bit of a mistake here. I probably shouldn't have rode this golem at night. I had to quickly dispatch this hunter before the other dinos start going crazy. Luckily, they were all on passive.
There we have it, chat. We have all of the golems.
I wanted to test out a little theory with my water wyvern. Can we fly underwater? And we can. Being able to fly and travel underwater on this wyvern's kind of OP, but kind of good at the same time. Well, unless I forget that I actually need oxygen myself. Although fun, we were here on a mission. I needed to find a Tuso so we could kill it and hopefully get some black pearls, which could have been simple enough if I remembered, again, I need oxygen. Day 68, and we started hatching all of the eggs that we had gathered from all the dinos that we had been breeding. Then our fire hatchling decided to go Super Saiyan and then evolve into the dragon. And now it's time to fight the next Avenger. The Water Avenger. Our Storm Golem made light work of this big blue dragon. The morning of day 69, my Twitch chat came in clutch, and they told me about a little bit of a cheesy method of fighting hunters. If you stay within the shoreline, you get the water versions of the hunters, like these megalodons, instead of, the raptors and carnos and whatnot. And if you're on a golem, they're significantly easier to kill. Now, usually I name my tames as soon as I tame them, but I wanted to wait until we had a few and then let the Twitch chat decide on what we're going to call them. Our Fire Wyvern, we named Smog. The Lightning Wyvern, we named Deathwing. And our Water Wyvern, we named Archimedes. I've never heard that name before, so if you know what it's related to, comment below. Day 70, I started doing some renovations on my base, turning the stone structures into the Castles and Keeps castle structure. But once I put the front gates on, I realized some of the things don't line up, and kind of got fed up, so I left this for the rest of the day. After all, we have some Avengers that we need to kill still. This Air Avenger was quite interesting. It has an attack that pushes you really, really far away, but ultimately was no match for our Vapor Golem. That night, we gave our Storm Golem a bunch of these unstable dusts. This basically makes all the Night Hunters way tougher. Ultimately, we're trying to fight the Hunter Reapers because they drop Reaper flesh, which we can later on use to summon in and tame our very own hybrid Reapers. But if we head back to the ocean, we can fight Hunter Tusos as well. But yes, just like normal Tusos, they are a little bit grabby, and they can kind of like fly outside the water, which is hella creepy. Now, after a big night of fighting high-tier hunters, I crafted this grinder. Why, you might ask? When you kill hunters, you get a ton of high-tier gear, and a large majority of it is basically useless to us, so it can't hurt to grind it down to some extra resources for us. Day 72, I forgot to turn off for the recording and went AFK for a little bit too long. But when I returned, I went out to the desert to go hunt down some mantis. Basically, I'm just trying to collect a ton of chitin that we could turn into cementing paste. Our snail's not quite producing quick enough for us, but now that we have a ton of cementing paste, it's time to start the big renovations on our base. This was kind of a large process. I mean, this took us quite a few days. The Castles and Keeps mod doesn't quite fit like the normal structures do. And having to move around all of our crafting benches, I'm starting to wonder if this was all worth it or not. But on day 75, it was complete. I always really like this Castles and Keeps mod. There's a few little things that I will add on, but that's basically it. Now, I know it's not my traditional design, but if you kind of look closely, it kind of looks like it. Not intentionally, of course. Day 76, we went balls deep in fighting Avenger bosses. Quickly melting the Ice Avenger with my Fire Wyvern, stomping out the Lightning Avenger with my Storm Golem, and I quickly turned this Stone Avenger straight into ice with my Frozen Wyvern. Day 77, we went out to go hunt some creepy crawlies, the Omni Arneo, because we went out to go collect a bunch of these. Spider legs. It's the main ingredient to be able to summon in the Broodmother boss. And when we arrived back at base, our water hatchling was ready to Super Saiyan into the water dragon. And now since we have more hatchlings, I needed to go find myself either wyverns or drakes.
Ooh, got an Aqua Drake egg, level 180. Not a massive level, but we'll take it. Oh, what the heck? You got 4 Gale eggs with that? Thank you, glitch. What's that? Oh! Level 320 Thunder Drake egg? No, that's a good egg.
I only needed one more egg to complete the collection. I felt like I searched everywhere for it. But then again, thanks to one of my subscribers that showed me the location, we found it.
Level 310, not bad.
Day 79, all of our eggs were incubated. Well, most of them. So we started hatching them up. Then I had to go deal with another Water Avenger. I need 2 water hatchlings for this, and I'll explain why a little bit later. Now, these dragon hatchlings eventually turn into a hybrid dragon, but there's a unique way to do it in this mod. You need to have 2 of the hatchling dragons follow you of the specific hybrid that you're trying to make. In this case, I've got water and nature following me, and you need to make them fight creatures to gain experience. The only problem with this is it's quite a long process. Now is probably the perfect time to show you how the hatchlings work. To be able to turn a little wyvern hatchling into a dragon hatchling, you need to have that particular element's wyvern or drake within a certain vicinity of the hatchling. Then after a short period of time, it can evolve into the dragon hatchling. Day 80 and a bunch of our hatchlings are ready to evolve. So we began the process of all 3 of these at once: lightning, stone, and ice. And now we have control of every element. You can call me the Avatar. I then immediately began training the lightning and air dragons in hopes to make ourselves a storm dragon. Now this was going all fine until my game crashed. Then for some reason, when I came back into the game, my audio was broken and we couldn't find the air dragon. I literally looked everywhere and couldn't find him. And then I checked the tribe logs and yeah, he was killed. I really want myself a storm dragon, so we're gonna have to go out and go kill another air Avenger. Luckily we're so OP right now, it was pretty easy to kill. I just have to go through this whole process of hatching another egg. Day 81, I jumped on my stone rex and took the frost dragon and the stone dragon out on a little bit of a hunt to try and get their levels up. It's nighttime, so I couldn't take out a hybrid dino, otherwise we would have had to fight hunters and my dragons would likely die. Day 82 and we're still out here with these little baby dragons. Like I mentioned earlier, it takes quite a while for these guys to be able to level up and evolve into their hybrid counterpart. We made it back to base and then I had to check their inventory to see if they were ready to evolve. We need them to have 100 of these catalysts and both of them do. So they should be ready to fuse into their hybrid. There was just one problem. They're supposed to have these particles around them allowing them to be able to fuse, but they just didn't. And at this point, I couldn't figure it out. But eventually I did. They just had to be really, really close to each other. And I won't lie, this fusion animation looks pretty damn dope. But not as dope as this. Look at that baby. We now have a stone and frost fusion dragon. I was super impatient and had to try him out. Wanted to see what he could do. I won't lie, initially his attacks are kind of underwhelming. He's not really a high level, but you know, I've expected a little bit more. And I also forgot one other thing. We're on a hybrid dino at night, so hunters want to come and kill us. And because we're on a flyer, we get pteranodons trying to kill us. They're probably the most annoying thing to try and kill, especially when our dragon's really kind of not that strong.
I might die here. I might die here. We need that sun to fully come up. Please come up.
I was too afraid to get back to base until the sun fully came up and the hunters went away. I now wanted to get my own Reaper baby. Yes, you can get hybrid Reapers for yourself. But first, we need hybrid Pure Essence. And the way to do that is to put 2 variants of Pure Essence into the infuser and combine the essence essentially. You get this animation coming up and voila, we now have a Storm Essence. Then you add some Reaper Steak, some Luminescence Essence in, and bang, you've got your own Reaper impregnation thingy. So I went to a semi-private place to impregnate myself, zoomed all the way out on the camera so you could see the magic happen, and then realized, yeah, you've got to be pregnant for at least 15 minutes. I figured while we wait for the baby to be born, it's time to take out our water dragon and our fire dragon. Might as well train up some dragons while we have time to kill. And then all of a sudden, we had 30 seconds left until this baby was coming into this world. And let us all bear witness to the baby being born. Yeah, I've seen babies born in real life, and I don't ever want to go through that. Nope. Our baby was immediately sucked up by the soul terminal. But can we take a second to appreciate those stats? Like, it already has 100 points into health. That's crazy. Day 85, and guess what? Our Storm Reaper is a big adult. Level 530. I quickly juiced him up with some potions to increase his levels, and then took this bad boy out on a hunt. And man, can this guy pack a punch. 3,000, 2,000 lots of damage. This Reaper's pretty damn strong. I wonder how it will fare against the water type.
Oh, yeah, okay. Is that 12,000?
And look, I have to appreciate that appearance too. The purple and gold makes this thing bloody beautiful. It's now day 86 and we're closing into day 100 rather quickly, but we still have so much left to do. I'm out and about right now, training up my water and my fire dragon, and still have a bunch of other hybrids that I need to train. All doing this whilst pregnant with a baby Reaper. I can't believe I have to give birth another 2 times. I feel sorry for most women out there. It must be hard. My water dragon and my fire dragon were ready to evolve and fuse. I just couldn't get them close enough to be able to make it happen.
Oh, land close to each other. Land, no, you freaking stupid dragons.
I got fed up from trying, so instead I went over to go evolve this air hatchling into the air dragon. The early morning of day 87, I took my Storm Reaper out to go hunt some hunters. Only this time we made sure to eat as many of these unstable dust as we possibly could to make sure that it was only Reaper hunters that came in to kill us. Well, us kill them really. And if you're wondering, well Aaron, you have a light pet on you while riding a Reaper. In this mod, it acts a little bit differently. It actually boosts myself instead of, doing damage to it. And then still does damage against these Reapers. I mean, look at that. 14,000 damage? It ain't got nothing on me. But all in all, our entire goal of this nighttime was to be able to kill as many Reapers to get as much Reaper steak as possible so we could complete our full collection of hybrid Reapers. Then when the sun came up, I just tried to get these dragons as close to each other as possible so they could frickin' fuse. Day number 88, our next Reaper was fully grown. The Vapor Reaper, an elemental god with a fusion of fire and water. He basically just makes steam and things, wet and hot. Now tell me in the comments how many times you've made this mistake. Yeah, when you whistle attack a certain dino with all your creatures running into attack. That wasn't meant to happen. We're only out here trying to train our lightning and our air dragons, which turned out to be kind of risky. We almost lost our lightning dragon. Fortunately, we have some health potions on hand. Day 89, our air dragon and our lightning dragon were ready to fuse. And I thought of a great idea to be able to get them close to each other. Yeah, the good old-fashioned whip. Look, we forget that these things are possible in this game. It happens. We only had to wait for this to happen. Now that they have the storm clouds above their head, they're ready to fuse. And whilst the mighty storm prepares above their heads, these two dragons fuse into the mighty storm dragon. Now that I have good use of this whip, I could then fuse my fire and my water dragons together and make the mighty vapor dragon. Won't lie, this one looks freaking epic. Day 90 and it's time to bring another Reaper into this world. Which one is it? Well, you're gonna have to wait and see. Looking back at my garden, seeing all of these powerful creatures that I've obtained over the time, it's a sight to see, but we're still yet to complete all of our collections. I now need to train the water dragon and the nature dragon so that they can fuse into our final dragon, the fen dragon. Day 91 and our next Reaper was fully grown up, the glacial Reaper, a fusion between ice and stone. But we couldn't enjoy this Reaper too long. We had more training to do, and I'm glad we got it done because now we have our very own fen dragon, which completes our whole dragon collection. Day 93, I fed my storm dragon one of these things. It's called Reaper Steak. Then using my light pet, I jumped on the back of the storm dragon and charged it up to 100%. This then allows us to grow it, turning it into the Storm Xeno Dragon, the most powerful dragon in the game. As you can tell, it's already bigger and taller than the other dragons, significantly stronger as well. And technically it's supposed to be a hybrid between a Reaper, so you can also bury them. It's a random feature, but kind of cool, I guess. Day 94, I charged up my Vapor Dragon as well, and grew that into the Vapor Xeno Dragon. To truly test out the might of this Storm Xeno Dragon, I had to take it out at night, and make sure I only fight the hardest hunters that were out there. And in this case, because we're a flyer, that's hunter wyverns, which as you can see, stood no chance. I mean it, literally this whole night we just slaughtered wyverns all over the place, left and right, they're all dead. Day 95 and we have a bunch of bosses that we need to kill still to be able to complete this mod. It's starting to feel unlikely that we're going to do it. So I figured since our storm dragon was stupidly tough, I would summon in 2 lots of brood mothers at once. This is either genius or extremely stupid. I did kind of forget at this time that it summons in a bunch of Arnios at once as well. So we kind of had to deal with that. And it was kind of difficult as they would slow you down and, we just had to bite and fight and punch, and sometimes we couldn't reach them. It was just a whole ordeal. But it's okay, because once we got past that, the big butt brood mothers both spawned in. Biggest problem though was when they're in their fire form, my storm dragon basically couldn't do anything against them. All of our attacks were basically null and void until this one turned into its water form, which of course we know lightning is good against water. I almost killed it, but it turned back into fire. I really couldn't do much against the other one though, since it was an ice and fire type. Again, both elements I couldn't do anything against in my powerful storm dragon. We just had to wait for this one to be able to turn into its water form. Now excuse the pun, but I think it's a bit of a bug that it wasn't turning back into its water form. Day 96, I was having a little bit of trouble with these brood mothers, and out of the blue I saw that one of my subscribers was flying around on a water wyvern, so I asked her to come and help out a little bit. This is Lucy. You'll see her in a couple videos of mine. She tends to be around here and there. Although I couldn't let her have all the fun, I had to fly back to base to go pick up this guy. Yeah, we're now on our Vapor Xeno Dragon, which we know because of his fire element can handle this ice brood mother, and his water element destroys the fire type, making both of these brood mother bosses extremely easy, and dead. But like mentioned earlier, we don't have a lot of time to mess around, and we have one more spider that we need to kill to complete this whole boss arc. Fortunately, this spider had an air element and a stone element, which was really no chance for my vapor dragon. With the final spider boss killed, we were gifted this trophy, the Omni Spider trophy that's kind of transparent, so it looks kind of crappy. I didn't love it up on the wall, so we took it back off, but for good reason. Also that we could craft our own, basically, Spider Queen. Yes, once you kill all the spider bosses, you can then summon in this guy, the Omni Spider Queen. I feel like this might have been a better tame a lot earlier on, because it's kind of not that strong. Anyways, I crafted this, the Elemental Condenser. If you fill it up with all these crystals and essence and stuff, it's supposed to craft element, but it comes with a catch. There's supposed to be crazy dangerous creatures that come in when it's like in use. I probably shouldn't have put this near my base, but I couldn't see anything bad happening. I searched the whole area on my dragon and nothing kind of came through. So I figured we were safe. Oh, how I was wrong. Whilst I was minding my own business, I got hit by this. A random jellyfish spawned out of nowhere, which had come from the condenser. All of my creatures were going wildly crazy, and my poison hybrid dragon died from it. So I went into attack from my Spider Queen, and somehow I died off the back of it. All the alarm bells were ringing. I was worried that everything was gonna die. My Spider Queen was getting attacked, so I jumped on my Storm Dragon to finish off this anomaly jellyfish. Thankfully, my Spider Queen survived. Barely. I double checked to make sure I had all my other creatures, and we were looking okay. All my Reapers are there, my Wyverns and Drakes are fine, and all my Golems are surviving. Only 2 days left to go in this 100 days challenge, and we need to fight one of the end game bosses right away. But the thing is, you can only fight this boss at night. This is the daylight generator that is used to be able to summon in this particular boss. I made sure to ride my Storm Dragon in this case, because I knew it was my strongest creature. But what happens when you place down this daylight generator? A bunch of hunter creatures come in to try and kill you and destroy the daylight generator. So it's your job to try and defend it against waves and waves of creatures, and try and do it while it still stays nighttime. It's kind of a tricky kind of thing to do. But once you kill all the hunter creatures, this guy spawns in. The Elemental Wrath. He can harness basically any element, and it's completely random what element he's going to use at what time. So it's important to know what attacks would be effective against him and what's not. At this time, he was using his water element, which I knew my lightning was strong against, and it done a ton of damage. But when he switched to his air element, I was pretty much useless. His fire element was the scariest because that did the most amount of damage. His lightning element wasn't as fun either, but at least we could damage him while he was in this stage. And his nature element, well, that's how we killed him. Once he was dead, we then unlocked the remaining tech engrams. But that's not the most important thing. Killing this boss drops this egg. This is the Dawn Fury egg.
Oh, looks like we just killed him in time. The sun's coming up.
Obviously, we wanted to hatch our very own Dawn Fury as soon as we possibly could. So I raced back home, chucked it straight into the soul terminal to let it incubate. Whilst we waited though, I had a little bit of element on me, so I made a tech shield to try and protect all the creatures that we had around, especially now because this server's public and you can come on it and, you know, try not to steal my dinos. I tried to shove all my dinos into the tech shield and yeah, it wasn't super easy trying to fit them all in. I had to move some things around. But hey, guess what? Our Dawn Fury is now here. Look at this beauty. Yeah, it's obviously highly inspired by How to Train Your Dragon, but we have one. Now it's time to test out how strong they are. It has a bit of a dive bomb attack, and yeah, smacks Jaboas out of existence really quickly. But what about this? Its spray attack absolutely annihilates its enemies. This is easily my most favorite tame in this entire mod. Its maneuverability is second to none, and its attacks are just so much more powerful. And yes, this isn't a bug. It's not just Evo flying around all by himself. The Dawn Fury can go invisible. Such a majestic creature. But we're not done yet. We actually need to defeat one more boss after this. It's called the Pure Fury. It's just hit day 100. And yes, we need to defeat the final boss. But there's one major problem. We can only really fight the final boss after we get ourselves a Dusk Fury, which we can only get by killing that nighttime boss. With not much else left to do, I just flew over to the desert and waited for nighttime. Then we could use the daylight generator to summon this boss in once again. Riding the Dawn Fury was kind of interesting. At one stage, we did get to kill a lot, but for some reason, there were so many hunters around the daylight generator, it did get a little bit tricky. Everything was going just like we would expect in this kind of fight. We destroy storm hunters, they kind of try and hurt us, but without any success. Well, that was until this happened. I got hit by a Reaper into this rock and for some reason got completely stuck.
Bro, I'm glitched. I can't move. I can't move at all. Bro, heal. I'm glitched in this freaking rock. I can't move.
This is where things started to get really hairy. Tried to go invisible, maybe that will work. Tried to get out, fly around, turn, do whatever I could to get out of this glitch. So far, everything was going okay though. We destroyed all of the hunters. That's when the elemental wrath came in. And this is where things really started getting crappy. Oh, I wonder, hopefully, oh, he's hitting me hard. Come on, just hit him, kill him. We're barely doing anything. Oh, no, we're doing okay. No, we're not. We're not. I'm dying. Then this happened. My Dawn Fury got knocked out, then died. I had very little options left. I didn't know what to do at this point. I just let this big kill me. With no other choice, I jumped on the back of my Storm Xeno Dragon. We've defeated him once before with this dragon, so we should be able to do it again. Things were looking pretty good. We were doing significant amounts of damage, much more than our Dawn Fury was. We got it down to 5 million health, 3 million health, 1.5 million health. And then it switched to its glacial form and froze me, so I couldn't fly. And the glacial element absolutely destroys Storm.
Dude, no. No. Oh, bro.
With little hope left, I returned back on my Vapor Xeno Dragon. This encounter didn't last very long. Well, there you have it, guys. We didn't make it. If you did like this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe button. It means a lot. We're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And make sure you go follow me over on Twitch. I stream quite a lot now. Until next time, peace.